So let's talk about where I've been for the past few weeks. Ting! As well as running 3 different Kickstarters and building a website in which to sell the books made off of said Kickstarters, links in below. I am building a collaborative shop website and it's super awesome and I'm excited. Oh, hello. We are joined by Eddie the cat, who is ever displeased to be here. As well as that, I've been working 2 jobs, and the reason I'm trying to get all this money in is because A, living in Stratford is incredibly expensive, and I've kind of gotten jaded towards how irritating it is. And B, it's because transitioning is expensive. I'm hardly making it a secret on this channel that I am genderqueer. I identify as really just not liking gender in general, but far more feminine than masculine, but ultimately neutral. I prefer the pronouns they, their, and them, and recently I got to go to my first gender identity clinic appointment. Now, as anyone who is on the NHS and trying to get help with gender stuff may already be able to tell you, this is a very long, slow road. It involved me going to my GP and then telling them how to do their job because they didn't know anything about it, and it was incredibly irritating, and the GP, general practitioner, then put me forward to go to a gender identity clinic, as is something that GPs have to do. It's part of their job. They refer you to a specialist when there is a definite problem they cannot do anything about. And my problem is dysphoria. My problem isn't that I'm genderqueer or trans. Those are not problems. Those are identities. Dysphoria is definitely something that leads to depression, anxiety, massive self-consciousness. Therefore, it is part of the NHS health service to try and prevent these things and deal with dysphoria, or help you deal with your own. However, trans and genderqueer issues are still pretty new in most mainstream media and mainstream culture, and so we're still getting to the stage where there's actually enough doctors and specialists to deal with said thing. Hence, the 4 closest gender identity clinics to me were 3 hours away, 3 hours away, and 4 hours away. As much as I love Leeds, I couldn't go to Leeds. It would involve me having to get a train to Birmingham, then a different train to York, and then a different train to Leeds, and it would take so long to do it, to go there, do this, and then come home within one day, that there's too much room for things to go wrong. There's no chance for me to actually hang out with my friends in Leeds. It's just not something I could do. So I'm going to Nottingham, which is still very, very far away. Also, if you ever need to go to the gender identity clinic in Nottingham and you're taking the train, don't wear heels. It is a long and uphill walk, and Google Maps will not tell you that bit. It was very cool to meet someone who actually is specialised and trained in dealing with gender identity related stuff. Although I was the first person, they were quite new, I was the first person that they'd met who wasn't wanting to go straight from one to the other binarily, however sees themselves in the middle of a gender spectrum and is wanting to adapt appearances to suit that better. I'm wanting to get rid of the masculinity in my face. I'm wanting to get rid of this beard. I hate it. Hate having a beard so much. The key ingredient to being really good at helping someone through gender difficulties is empathy and listening. Because they'd not met someone like me before, but they listened to everything I had to say, they took notes, they asked questions, and they were genuinely interested in helping me and learning what the hell I was about. Which is such a relief. Again, contrast to the GPs, and contrast to some assholes, you know? If you're watching this video, you may be in the early stages of getting a gender identity clinic appointment, and here's the thing, it takes a long time. The time between referral and getting an appointment can be a year. At most, and this is talking to a lot of different people I know, a year seems to be the kind of thing you have to wait to expect. I think mine took about 8 months, but it was the best part of a year. It was most of it. And my next appointment is 3 months later in January, so yeah, it's a lengthy process. For another generation, given another 30 years, let's see what stage we're at. I think there might be a lot more clinics about in most major cities. It'll be very cool. Or maybe it'll even be integrated as part of the major NHS, because it'll be a thing people acknowledge the numbers of. My eyes hurt without my glasses on, but I really can't keep on looking down and stuff and trying not to get the glare in my face, so this is going to be it for a sec. The first appointment at your gender identity clinic will be just an assessment to see who you are, what it is you want, and then talk through what kind of feelings you have and where you want to go with them. You may not know what you want yet. You may want to just talk to someone about what options there even are. I, for example, do not have any idea what options are available to someone who isn't just binarily transitioning. Also, like, what effects do progesterone have? If progesterone's even the thing I would be prescribed to feminize features, would it make me infertile? Is that a thing? Erectile dysfunction? There's a lot of possible things, and I'm not a specialist and I don't know. Honestly, if you're considering getting an appointment, I would say go ahead to go for referral, and then you'll have most of a year to do your research, do your homework, and try to figure out what you want out of the service. One thing I did that really helped show commitment, and that this is definitely something I'm up for, is I got a D-pole. These are incredibly affordable and legal ways of showing a change in gender. They're used for just changing your name or changing your title, but you can go ahead and change your title from Mr. to MX, as I did. MX Mixed or MX Mixter, some people go. I just go with MX because it sounds the most neutral and less like a DJ. You can get those in 1s, 10s, or stupid numbers, I believe. I got a decent number because some places like the gender clinic was okay to keep a photocopy. However, the bank, when I spoke to them, they wanted a copy for themselves to keep for their records. So this way, if you get a decent number, you'll be able to like hand them out to the relevant places, then keep a stock for when it's relevant and needed again, maybe for like jobs and whatnot. Depends who thinks it's relevant. It's also worth saying how the gap kind of went. So after my GP referred me, I got very soon after a letter in the post saying that I have been referred and that I will get confirmation of an appointment at some point. And then months and months and months and months and months passed, and then I got a letter in the post saying that I had an appointment and that they enclosed a questionnaire about various things, a very long questionnaire, series of questionnaires, some of them weird, that basically tries to cover all the bases of not only what... It wasn't really about gender, it was about a lot of other mental disorders or neuroatypical things that could overlap into gender dysphoria, self-hatred, or potential gender instability? I don't really know. I don't really know what the massive things were, but there was a lot in there that basically you read after 10 questions of going, are you trying to ask me if I'm autistic without asking, are you autistic? Because this is very specifically asking for symptoms that are very much associated with autism. It's very unusual. The questionnaire also went over a lot about abuse, weight issues, self-loathing, depression, self-harm. It was very repetitive and incredibly long and kept repeating in different sections. But basically, I think it was mostly just trying to assess mental health and any neuroatypical statuses. So I sent that off after it took fucking forever to fill everything in. And then I went to the appointment, and then, as well as discussing my gender identity, it was like a timeline. They went like the early stages of feeling anything like this, and went through a lot of childhood backstory. It's a long appointment. They tell you to leave quite a bit of time for it. But there's also a lot of questions to see if I was abused at any point. A lot of parental questions. And again, I'm not really sure how relevant these are. However, be prepared. You will maybe be asked a lot about it. In my case, it really wasn't relevant, and I had to keep saying that. I guess they just have to know for some reasons. Probably about instabilities. You don't want to put yourself on mind and body altering hormones if you are unstable to some degree. It might make things worse. Makes sense. I'm well aware there's several people out there who can't take hormones because of some issues they're going on with already, such as a regular commenter talking about their thyroid issues. It was a very nice waiting room. There were some very lovely people in there who were quite talkative. They could tell it was a very safe environment, so it was nice to talk to people who were in a similar situation. For my next appointment, I was told to do a bit of homework. I was told to write down like a gender journey of how I got to where I am and what I want to do. I was also told to bring in any proof that I had that I was out in the workplace, out in various statuses, which is great because now I've got the deed poll, I'll be able to get my bank details changed from Mr. to MX. I'll be able to get a lot of things changed over from that to that, which will be really good, because, you know, after a while it just starts being tiresome to see it happening. Not that anyone, even when I'm in a fucking corset and high heels, will call me anything other than sir. In any case, are you looking forward to having a gender identity clinic appointment at some point? Do you have any questions about what happened in the first appointment? Are you further down the line and have things that I should be aware of? Let's hive mind this and, you know, try and make the situation and the process easier for ourselves. Also, this is only my perspective and my experience. There may be different experiences people have had trying to do the exact same thing. So let's share some different people's stories out there who do similar gender vlogs. I want to share out the real expertie, who is awesome, down to earth, and so charming, and a brilliant artist. Loves pugs and his adorable boyfriend. He does some great vlogs about transitioning. He's also in the UK as well, so it's a very similar process, just a lot of waiting. Jackson Bird, who I just plugged for their top surgery, but they're American, and their videos aren't mostly about being trans. There's a few out there, but the ones that they do discuss it in are very poignant, and I think they're just a very cool, down-to-earth, fun, entertaining person, and I really like all the videos they make, personal or otherwise. Isabella Bunny Bennett. I would be surprised if anyone's heard of me and not her. She is awesome. She is an artist, she is a singer, pantomime expert, makeup, a visionary, and has been transitioning openly on YouTube for a very long time now. Has been over a year on hormones, I think, at this point, but has a regular vlog, really big chunks of vlog about hormones and the effects of becoming physically female. Really, really cool and depthful, in-depth, and a very fun, silly person as well. So I totally recommend her. Zinnia Jones of Analyzing Gender, really cool, depthful analysis of gender stigma, of gender in action, gender in politics, gender in the world. Just a really thoughtful articles, full-on articles in vlog form and video form, but really well put together, very clean. This is like professional, almost teaching aids, but more like critical thinking kind of stuff, because there's a lot of debate and news and recent events. Really, really like her work. Penicillin Pusher has very laid back but humorous, lovely little videos about being agender. I can't remember their actual name for the life of me. I just know it was Penicillin Pusher because it's such a lovely pun. Oh, I feel like a douche. People probably already know Rockstar Ryan Casada and their awesome channel of awesomeness and shirtlessness and collaborations with various cool people, but Ryan's really quite cool and no fucks to give regarding negative representation, but still very measured, you know. And Chandler Wilson, who, for someone so young, is doing so well at asking the right questions and experimenting. I'm always so impressed when I watch their stuff, and they're so relaxed about everything and not freaking out. It's really cool. They're agender and only 17 in their description, which might still be accurate. I don't know. They're mature. It's hard to tell. But yeah, they do a lot of videos about fun stuff as well as gender stuff, which is really cool. And yeah, there are some more people to get more perspectives, but this is my gender journey so far. I hope I'll do another little vlog thing every time I have an appointment, just to let people know what's happening. And then maybe it'll go somewhere. That would be nice. But yeah, leave your comments below, questions, anything like that, advice. And yeah, let's do this more often. Let's hang out. And this has been alright. This has been cool.